Hello, 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 everyone. It's me, Rebel Trader. We're going live with some TTI League top 4 action. Still recovering a bit from Richmond. That was a fun weekend. And we saw Sabine win, and we've got a Sabine here today, piloted by Dillen, taking on the Cad Bane, piloted by Weyoun. So I'm just spreading the word here. All right. And we're just waiting for Weyoun to join us, but we can talk. Here's the bracket. This is the top 4. Winner of this is going on to the finals. The other top 4 match was played yesterday during Richmond, and I recorded it, and it should be up later today. So that'll be fun. And then we should be able to do the finals soon. We're running up on the end of the month, but I have faith that we'll be able to get it done in time. But the other matchup was also featured a CAD, but a different version of CAD. Did I say Weyoun was on CAD green? He's not. He's on CAD Lake Country. Speaking of, let's take out these lists. So this is Dillen's Sabine. It looks a lot different, or actually, it doesn't actually look that different to the one from Richmond. There are some notable differences. He's on 2 Sabine's Masterpiece, not on 3. That was a pretty key card. Only on 1 timely intervention. That was also a key card at Richmond. But 3 copies of Rebel Assault, and then basically all the other good stuff. Dark Sabers, Pose, Wreckers, Forecause. I don't think the Richmond list was on Wing Leaders, but Dillen finds it to be still useful. Definitely can win games just on its own. And Chewy's in the sideboard, not in the main. That's another big difference, I think. But the core of the deck is the same. It's going to be Sabine going to try to aggro Weyoun out real quick. Weyoun, on the other hand, is going to try and go over the top a little bit with this Underworld deck. He's playing the Lake Country to give him some extra health. Says, I don't need a second aspect. The basic yellow cards are fine by me. So he's running all the good, cheap, yellow Underworld units to trigger Cad's ability. Got the McClunkies in there. And then goes up to Cad Bane at the highest for 7. 1 Dryden in the sideboard. Hopefully we get to see that in action, although it's typically not all that useful into Sabine. And I think, are they both here now? No, we're still waiting on Weyoun. Oh, there he is. All right. Perfect. CAD was we didn't see a ton of it on stream, but it was there at Richmond in force. I think we might have gotten a couple CAD matches on stream, but not many, which is surprising for me because I'm actually really high on CAD right now. Although I've mostly been playing the green version. Ooh. All right. So we should be getting started here pretty soon. Winner of this one goes to the finals. I should check this, but I believe Dillen is a previous winner of the league. In fact, no, he's got the blue name, which means he's definitely a previous winner. Weyoun, I think he's made the cut several times. I don't know if he's been to the finals yet. So we'll see. But these 2 players, I believe, are good friends, so it'll be a fun game either way. All right, Dylan's got he opened the R2, which I don't think I think I mentioned that when we were going to Ridiculous, but that's an interesting thing that not everybody is on. But I mean, here it allows him to play a 4-3 in space on turn 1, which is real interesting. All right, Dylan gonna dirtle a bit with the Sabine action. And yep, that's a pass from Weyoun. Phoenix A-Wing deployed into the ground arena. Yep, Cloud Rider just gonna go and put the one on the A-Wing. And this is the downside of not running Target Town, is if you had Target Town here, you'd be able to clear that as Weyoun. But I mean, you're giving up 9 health for that, so maybe it's worth it. All right, now Weyoun with initiative here, and the R2 here is actually really impactful because in the absence of R2, any underworld unit would be able to kill this this A-Wing, or well, I guess Dillen would probably have initiative, so he'd be able to play something else to soak the damage. But the Jump Master would be able to block the A-Wing compellingly, and now it doesn't because the A-Wing can just kill the Jump Master, or we can do this play with ECL Masterpiece. Sabine's Masterpiece quickly becoming the centerpiece of a lot of Sabine decks. Makes sense. All right, Bamboozle coming down to knock off the R2. That's, I mean, you're giving up 2 cards to just take out that A-Wing, but maybe it's worth it. Oh, the R2 actually goes back to hand because of the Bamboozle, which means it can just be replayed onto the Masterpiece. But no other units are there right now for the Masterpiece. And Weyoun is now running low on cards. After he resources, he's only going to have 2 left. And this is the Sabine flip turn. Dylan's contemplating just using that Masterpiece while he can. It makes some sense because he does know that McClunky's in here. And obviously Weyoun doesn't have it, but if he did have it, McClunky would be great answer to the Masterpiece at this moment. And Dylan's going to be greedy, not play around the McClunky. And luckily for him, Weyoun does not have it. I don't know if you can hear that, but someone's deciding it's the right time to loudly blow leaves outside my window. All right. What was that? Oh, Masterpiece attacked instead of going to the base, killed the Cloud Rider. That does allow the second Cloud Rider though to go and kill that K2. And now Weyoun is officially in top deck mode. And ooh, Rebel Assault picked up. That's a big one. Poe in hand also. And Weyoun draws. I mean, Boba Fett is not going to be all that impactful on this board state. All right. I mean, here he comes. I think, yeah, we are just going to see Rebel Assault. I mean, Rebel Assault takes Poe offline. And Poe would be pretty nice here, but I mean, you still go like, Fighters for Freedom, Rebel Assault. Okay, it looks like he's not going to do that. He's just going to go swing with Masterpiece. Every time I say Masterpiece, I think of the Yu-Gi-Oh card that was called Masterpiece. That was a big thing back when I played that game, which was years ago at this point. But it was like Master Space Peace, like peace and love. But everybody hated him because he was like immune to everything. And I think of him every time I think of Masterpiece. Sabine's Masterpiece, that is. All right. And Dillen just walking into the base here, playing out a Poe. Now, even though like the board state looks very favorable for Dillen, he's still got 13 health to chew through, which I'm pretty sure he's got that on board right now. He's got 3, 8, and then Sabine's Masterpiece is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, easy. All right. When he was just going to call it, didn't even get to flip his leader. Just ran out of options. All right. Let's take a look at sideboards here. So, Weyoun has got, he's got some interesting stuff. I gotta actually look up what this Mist Hunter thing does. Mist Hunter. On attack, if you played a Bounty Hunter pilot, you may draw a card. That's interesting. 3 cost, 3/4 ship. Maybe that might just be good enough, like for the body. 3 cost, 3/4 ship that maybe gets you extra draws. Waylay typically gets played in these Sabine decks, especially with all the pilots running around. It makes a lot more sense. No Good to Me Dead, if he's expecting like Chewies or Darksabers, it makes sense to come in. As for like things to take out, you probably don't need 3 copies of CAD in this matchup. Maybe you still want 1 or 2. Bazine is not going to be as beneficial, but still could be good. And it looks like they're already shuffling up, so I'll talk about Dillen's sideboard real quick. It looks like it's just more copies of good cards. We'll see. And it looks like he brought Chewies in. We can see one in the hand there. So, all right, let's get back into it. All right, Weyoun is not going to wait around for anything. Goes for the A-Wing. He's got the McClunky in hand, which instant kills the A-Wing. Sidon also does that. In fact, if he plays Sidon, that leaves him room to McClunky something else. But yeah, for those that don't know, the way Sidon works is normally he's just -2/-2, but with CAD on 1 unit in play, he does 3. All right, yeah. This one's looking already a lot better for Weyoun. 2 turns, 2 units, both of them killed. And he's got a bit of a lead on damage. No Chewie established. This is exactly where you want to be. Even on cards also. Are there any online tournaments for Premier on tabletop? You're looking at them. Yeah, this is the Take the Initiative League. This is the Top Cup. If you don't know, we do leagues every month, and they're on mostly on Tabletop Simulator. Although officially we allow people to play on Carabast as well. You find matches whenever you want. There's no set schedule, and then the top usually 16 players at the end of the month play a elimination bracket over the course of the next one. So this right now we're playing in April. It was the top 16 from the March season, and we're running them all the time. So the next one's going to start on May 1st. All right. So Sabine's going to get flipped, and Weyoun has, again, the perfect answer in hand, and that's Forlom. So things are really looking up on the yellow side of the board here. Do you want to link? I'll usually link the Discord in the description of these videos, but I guess this one doesn't have it. If you go to our Substack, there's a Substack link that has all the deck lists. At the top of that Substack page, there should be a thing that says Discord. And if you click that, you get in. And then to get into the league itself, there's a channel called League Sign Up, and you just do what it says in there, and then you're in. All right, Cassian here. Dillen's starting to play control. He knows that he's gotta stop the CAD from exploding too much. So he's gonna take out that Forlom. And he's sort of succeeding. Like, Weyoun is running low on cards here. Although this is the turn where he gets to flip CAD, and that can be a big swing. Although Dillen does have ECL Wrecker, so I imagine that's probably just going to kill CAD right away. Weyoun's got initiative here. If he just plays one of these units, he can kill the Cassian right away. Without even having to attack. All right. Cassian's going to die there. Dillen just going to dirtle here a little bit. Weyoun going to dirtle in return. Weyoun's a good player, so he's definitely aware of the possibility of a wrecker here. All right, and Weyoun is just going to... Or Dillen, sorry, is going to say, I'm avoiding that game. I'm just going to put out a threat here. And Weyoun can't answer it. He just goes, Boba, deal 2 to the Chewie, then CAD attack into Chewie. He doesn't even have to attack there. Like, attacking base is not a bad move. But the Chewie is also a big threat. No, he's just going to go to base. All right. All right, and I don't think Weyoun resources here. There's no real reason to go past 6. Only real reason would be if you need to get a CAD, but then you can just resource something when you draw it. Dillen, on the other hand, is going up to 7. All right, let's see. What is Weyoun's clock at the moment? He's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on board. That's a 2-turn clock. Which means he can, if he attacks with everything this round, he can win next round. All right, tagging the boba is going to reduce the damage to 8, which doesn't actually change the clock. Although, Dillen is still way far away from even getting close to lethal. Because that late country is 34. This means he's got to do 28 more damage. Alright, this is step 1, though. Wrecker. Go in. So that should be 4 damage? Yeah, he got 4. Yeah, that's 4. Alright. Weyoun doesn't understand that his CAD needs to go back to the leader zone. Alright, there we go. He got it. And killing the cat actually does change the clock a lot. Right? Let's see. Because Weyoun's going to be able to walk in with these 2 units. That's going to bring him to 17. Actually, the clock stays the same if he plays this cartel spacer. So we still got a 2-turn clock. And Dillen's going to have to find a way to deal with these units. Oh, interesting. So Weyoun's going to take initiative here. It's a safer play if he finds something to deal with Wrecker, and it looks like he does. So he's got, any number of ways to kill that Wrecker now, which is safer. But if he had played it just a bit more aggressively, he could have gotten to lethal probably. But there's a possibility of like a timely intervention, which could have shaken things up a lot. So no shame in playing it safe. All right, Dillen's just going to drop a Yularen. That's not particularly threatening at the moment. If I'm Weyoun, I'm probably just running my way into base with whatever these small units are. He can get to lethal next turn if he attacks with everything and plays the spacer out of hand. And he's got like enough of a health cushion. Okay, no, he's playing defensively. Still trying to kill everything. All right, there's that timely. And I think Dillen's only on 1. I think we reviewed this. So knowing that that's gone is actually big. Let's check that while we're here. Yep, just the 1 timely. All right, McClunky. Going to come down, finish off the Yularen. Spacer returns to the board. All right, surprise strike picked up. That's actually pretty big. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't quite change the clock. Well, I mean, after the crafty's gone, it kind of does. So we can go in for 5, and then 3 crafties next turn is lethal. Or not crafties, cartels. All right. McClunky, not quite enough here, but Spacer to exhaust the masterpiece is big. And it looks like he's not choosing not to use the CAD. Why not use it? All right, there we go. Yeah. All right, Dylan's just gonna play Forecause, which is gonna get 4 damage through. But more than that, it lets him cycle. And it looks like Weyoun is just he's been playing this one safe, but he's within striking distance now. All right, Tax pushing Dillen to 24. And then you can play another Greedo out as well, which is just going to put yet another threat on board. And Sabine just doesn't have a way to deal with 4 things at once. Gonna go McClunky, because why not? And then just replay the Greedo. All right, Cad Bane picked up. If all else fails, that should get him there. See, Masterpiece is hitting for 7 right now. K2 is hitting for 4. That's 11. If you have Rebel Assaults, that's 13. That's not enough. If he tries to attack over units, just not going to get there. All right, he's going to go Rebel Assault. Let's see, wait, how much is this? This is, did I do my math wrong? This should be 6 to base, deal 1 to K2, 3 overwhelm, 3 from the K2 death. Yeah, okay. I was like, that's not 34, is it? There's no way that's 34. All right. So we're going to play game 3 here. Well, Ian played that one really well. I mean, he had an opportunity to go, and try to end the game earlier, but he decided, I'd rather play around some things that could lose me the game. And he successfully played around them, and he got there in the end. But the big thing that was important in that game was the answers that Weyoun had in the early game. He was able to really just knock out every unit that Dillen played, using Sidon, McClunky, all the underworld stuff. All right, they're drawn up for game 3 here. We did see them go back into their sideboards a little bit. Yeah, it looks like we're talking about Bazines. They're still in there, it looks like, for Weyoun. I mean, usually you want them more in the control matchups, but even into Sabine, like, sometimes if they ruin a turn 1 play, like, they can still be really good. All right, Dillen again starting with the soft pass, essentially, with Sabine. All right, here's Bazine. What do you take here? This is... I might just take Wrecker. Like... All right, actually, A-Wing makes a lot of sense because you don't really have a good out to the A-Wing. Make sure to draw for Bazine. There we go. All right, what's the move here? Weyoun's got a couple ways of dealing with this, Luke. He's got the, conservative, save health way of just Cloud Ridering into it. Then he's got the, maybe a bit safer way of doing it, or maybe like of more like board state development-y way, which is like attack into it with Bazine, which is like, or like, no, play a unit, either Cloud Rider or Crafty, and then Bazine into it, because you have to do it before they can get a cat blocker. And it looks like he's just going to ram it with the Cloud Rider. Unfortunately, no McClunky here. Dillen's expecting it, but it's not there. We'll see if we can draw one, and no, that's rough. So, no McClunky. I mean, his best way of answering the masterpiece immediately is no good to me dead. And that just hurts. He is definitely lucky that Dillen doesn't have Darksaber. If he did, this would be pretty bad. But since he doesn't, 4-Lom plus Bazine attack is going to kill Sabine, even if the CAD damage gets put in the masterpiece. All right, looks like he opened with a pass, and then masterpiece went to base. All right, Weyoun not planning on the 4-Lom. He might just be planning on No Good to Me Dead to play around Darksaber, which is definitely fair. All right, just going to pass again. K2 on the board, and it looks like no Good to Me Dead. Now he's out of Darksaber range. Just play another unit. Now the question is, does he... All right, he's not going to do anything with the Bazine. I was going to say going Bazine into Sabine could be useful because it puts... puts Sabine into 4-Lom range. All right, so now Dillen's got a pretty formidable board here, and he has ECL still up. So this is definitely looking good Can the Greedo hit? No, Greedo does not hit. It was Han that shot first. Don't you forget. All right, Rebel Assault, pretty massive here. Gonna go, what, 5 to base with K2, 4 to base. So it should be 9 total. Yep. And this is one instance where the Bazine into Sabine last round would have been impactful. Because Forlom can now insta-kill this Sabine, stop 3 damage right away. There's a possibility that Dillen would have claimed instead of attacking with Sabine. All right, 24 on Dillen's base. He is going to get this Forlom out. Dillen gonna pay 3. Is it Yularen? Fighters for Freedom would also not be bad here. Yularen wouldn't save Sabine because the Crafty does have 2 attack. But it would protect Masterpiece a bit. Target Town is just better. Well, I mean, if Weyoun was on Target Town, you'd be 1 health from dying right now. But he probably would have been able to remove a unit earlier, which definitely matters a lot of the time. All right. Sabine is taken out, and now it's Weyoun's turn to remind Dillen to return his leader. All right, Dillen ends up getting initiative. Still got ECL up. And this is a real bad situation for Weyoun. Because ECL Wrecker is online. Right now it's coming in for 5. Masterpiece just coming in swinging for 4 before that even happens. This is the CAD flip turn, but I'm not sure how much difference it's going to make at this point. Because right now, ECL Wrecker into Forlom plus Sabine Ping is just game. Weyoun's going to attack the Forlom into Yularen, which blocks Wrecker. It's a heads up play, but it's a desperation move for sure. And now what he can do is he can go Cloud Rider into Yularen. Oh, he's just going to play Crafty. So that unfortunately is going to be game because of ECL Wrecker. All right, congratulations to Dillen for making his way back to the finals, where he's going to face either Jero or Royal Sabak. Find out later today when that game drops. All right, thank you all for tuning in, and remember to always take the initiative.